Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. We have a very special guest in the building. This one is long time coming. We're supposed to do this episode a long time ago. We haven't happened, but I got it here. Mr. Kingxton.
Yeah, boy.
Welcome to the show, man. Welcome to the channel.
Thank you for having me, bro.
Come on, man. It's my pleasure having you on the show, man. And for those that don't know you, give us a quick introduction about yourself. We already know you, Mr. Kingxton. You know what I mean? You said on Instagram, call me Kingxton, okay? Yeah. You're gonna give you guys a little bit more introduction about himself, explain to them, where you from and how do you start, in this music,
bro. For me, bro, it's been a long journey, man, to be honest with you. Obviously, by way of Ghana, obviously, big shout out to the GH. Grew up in Europe, so I was born in the Netherlands. So lived there for a bit, was back and forth between there and Ghana for a while, and then moved here. Then I literally grew up here, so I've been here since I was like 8, 9. So I've been.
Come on, man. Yeah, shut up. I didn't know if you're from Holland, man. Come on, man. Did you speak the language?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit. Yeah, he left a long time ago. Now he's probably gone. He's gone now.
Now I still got it.
You still got a little bit. Yeah.
When I go back, I speak with my cousins, and it comes back. You know what I mean? But yeah, man.
I've done a little bit of research about you too. I see you lived in Luton as well.
Yeah.
So I was you're part of it in Luton as well.
Now Luton was cool, man. Like obviously lived in London for a few years, and then my mum wanted, I think, somewhere like a bit more like small and compact. And
was like Luton and Manchester, like what's the difference between those?
But always for me, the reason I left Luton was for me there wasn't a lot happening in Luton. So even from a young age, I knew I wanted to do a lot of different things and then be involved in a lot of different things. And so at that point, when I was obviously at that age, I wanted to make films and there wasn't really much.
So you want to become an actor at that time?
So I didn't want to become an actor. I wanted to be a director. Really.
Okay.
So and it was just there was no room, no space to be a creative in Luton. Not really, you know what I mean? So any creative or any musicians that were there were literally either going to London or going out.
East Coast goes to London, so they probably.
So then I looked. I was about to go uni in London. And I went, you know what? Something, I don't know. I came to visit Manchester, and Manchester just got me, you know what I mean? And so I chose Manchester, came to uni here, did my degree.
Or you studied okay.
So
cool.
Did my degree.
You're Mancunian now.
Exactly,
point,
but I've been here a while now. So
from Manchester now, we have to consider you Manc now. I'm not Mancunian though. I've been here for a while, but I've been here. We'll say probably 12 years now. 12 years now,
bro.
12 years now, so it's a long time in Manchester, man. But I don't consider myself Mancunian because I don't even got the accent. Like my accent is mixed.
Do I have the accent?
A little bit.
Nah.
Your accent is a little bit more stronger than mine. When it comes to Manc accent, yours is a little bit more stronger than mine. But anyway, what I was gonna ask you? So in terms of music, then, when did you decide to pursue music? When did you you say, okay, I have talent for music, or even if I don't have the talent, I like this industry. I want to pursue music.
So for me, like I said, I've always been a creative in some way of shape or forms. Obviously, like I said, I wanted to be a director at one point. Then I did want to be an actor for a bit. I was a dancer for a bit. So I think it's one of those where creativity. I've always been a creative person anyway. But then for me, it was lockdown, to be honest. So obviously when I moved to Manchester, I was doing TV, film, and production. So to make a bit of extra money, I was shooting people's music videos and shooting content back in the day then, you know what I mean? And it was always been in that environment. I always had it was more an understanding of what was going on, you know what I mean? How to put stuff together, how to rhyme words and stuff like that. So I was never fully involved until lockdown. Then lockdown, I was
so basically your environment just put you into music without you feeling like you want to get into it, filming people's videos, doing videos for other people, you start getting the passion for music and you start growing on you. But by at the time, and to be honest, you know what? A lot of people I have a conversation with, they always say COVID, and then those that are doing creative stuff or decided to do something for themselves, COVID put on a lot of people to decided to start following their passion, following their dream, things they like to do, but never had the time to put into it. When the COVID started or came through, everybody's in quarantine and they start doing their own stuff. But that's sick. But guys, subscribe to the channel, and if you watch the video till now, subscribe and like the video as well, and don't forget to press on the bell and to get a notification for all the videos that be coming. You started rapping, and then now you're making Afrofusion. How is that transition for you from rap to Afrofusion?
I think that's actually a good question. I think it was for me. It was a bit of a weird transition. I think obviously, because I think rap is rap, no matter like if it's more Afro or if it's like straight UK rap. But I think it was kind of more the idea of, obviously, as I was growing, learning myself, learning who I am, obviously, like locking in more with my Ghanaian culture as well, and kind of understanding that side of who I am and how and how that comes into my creativity. You know what I mean? I think it wasn't really like a change. It was more of like a transition. Like it was more of like a growth and like an understanding and an.
I feel like like I'm going from rap, but now I'm feeling like more, digging more into my roots and then trying to like get into more like the African music and
So I think because obviously in my music, I think I put everything like who I am into my music, how I feel, what I'm thinking, everything goes into my music. You know what I mean? So I think like I felt like at one point I wasn't really doing it justice, just kind of showing kind of one side of who I was.
I hear it.
Because like I said, like I'm from all these different places, and so I'm a mix of all those places, all those cultures.
I understand.
I always want to put that into my music as well.
Come on, man, that's what it is, man. Like that it bring originality to your music as well. So what kind of feeling do you want the listeners to feel when they're listening to your music?
I think I want people to take from my music what they will take from me. You know what I mean? There's never like one emotion that I want anyone to feel. You know what I mean? Like I think it's more, I want people to relate more than anything. You know what I mean? Relate to the story I'm telling or the emotion I'm feeling, and like understanding, take away like, oh, I'm not the only one feeling this thing. You know what I mean? Or you're not the only one going through this thing at this point in your life. You know what I mean? We've all been through it, and like and there's someone there who feels what you're feeling. You know?
Is there any moment that you feel like whatever, when I was making rap music, I wasn't being, I wasn't really putting out what I want to put out. I need to transition. I'm feeling like I want to change a little bit. Is there any moment that you feel like I can rhyme, but I'm not really delivering what I wanted to deliver? Is there any point in time that you feel like, you want to make that switch?
That's a good question, actually. I'd probably say, to be honest, I think there was a point, I think what year was it? I'd probably say like 23, around that 2023, 2024 period, you know what I mean? Where I think it was more, I wanted to experiment more with obviously like kind of like Afrofusion and the UK rap, you know what I mean? And trying to balance that and trying to merge that. So I think I released my songs, Tell 'Em and You Too, which are more very like, I'm a piano heavy and more I'm a piano based, you know what I mean? And then in that sense, I kind of, as I was writing for that, there was kind of a lot of ideas that were coming to me along with like flows and melodies that kind of made me realize that, there's more that I can do with this than just trying to merge UK rap with just Afrobeats and trying to fuse it that way, you know what I mean? It was more like a fusion of, I think more like expression and energy and, you know what I mean? And like doing things the way I say either like a Ghanaian person would do it or a UK person would do it.
I feel like it becomes a little bit more like something you need to think about or think you need to feel from coming from within, because of when you from like you grew up, you've been in so many different places. Like you have your Ghanaian roots. You grew up you were born in Netherlands. You live in Luton and now in Manchester. Like so many different places, and those all of them can make a crazy salad. So when you really want to make music, then you're gonna want to make sure you represent all those parts. Do you think your music really represents all those places that you've been in?
Yeah, I think, like if you look at my whole discography, then you know what I mean? But I think it's more, at the moment, like kind of what mindset am I in when I'm hearing these instrumentals and these beats? How am I feeling, you know what I mean? Is it my Ghanaian side that's been woken up by this, or is it like a UK rap side, or, you know what I mean? So it's more about, how I'm feeling and kind of what I'm trying to express and what I'm trying to get people to understand, you know what I mean? So I think, because like, I think before I was doing like the kind of like my piano sound, I was doing more like a Afro, whatever, like an Afro drill, Afro rap kind of sound, you know what I mean? So
you mentioned I'm a piano couple of sound now. So I'm a piano or Afrobeat, which one you say like, you feel more?
I'd say like Afro beats, you know what I mean? Afro beats is kind of, so obviously, if you know the history of like Afro music, like it started in Ghana and with High Life, you know what I mean? And High Life is kind of like the forefather of
I didn't know that.
Man. See, this is what we're doing this whole rollout.
Picking up some knowledge on this part.
I mean, like, obviously that's a lot. Obviously, like, big shout out to my Nigerians, and then like all my Nigerian friends. When I say this to them, they're always shaking their heads in it. But if you understand kind of like the history of music, so when you hear like Afro beats, like UK Afro swing, all these things, and like there's even like obviously a little bit of influence in like obviously like dancehall and all of that, you know what I mean? But that comes from like High Life.
Yeah.
Which is like kind of the original Ghanaian sound and like hip life, and that's
I need to check this out, man. I definitely need to check it out. You know,
get that music history.
I need to definitely need to check this out and see a little bit more. Like, as soon as you're talking about Ghana, you know, there's so many, you know, different culture in Ghana. I don't know what the real reason for the single you put out and you call Tribe. So you want to tell us, you know, what, you know, what this Tribe, about this single.
So obviously, the Tribe is like the lead single on my EP called Bugger. Basically, it's called Bugger from the City. So as you can see, rocking the merch. But Bugger from the City. So basically, what Bugger means is a Ghanaian word where it's kind of like, so they use it. It's not a serious thing, and it's like you know, like when you've traveled abroad, like away from home, and you go back. So obviously, your accent is going to be a little different. The way you dress is a little different. You know what I mean? The way you express yourself will be a little different, and that's when they use the word bugger. It just means like
okay.
Like, you know what I mean? Like
I feel like every African country they have this thing. When I'm from, we have this thing as well. Like, you know, they call you different names just because, you know, you're coming from, you know, from Europe. When you go back there, they're like, you know, you're different. You know, you swag different. You're talking different. Like, even that you're talking your own, you know, dialect or your own language in there, then you still sound different. You don't sound the same. So in Ghana, they call you bugger because you know, you sound different, you dressing different. Okay.
What about you? So what's the word they use for you guys?
And I'm from Guinea-Bissau originally. So in Guinea-Bissau, when you know, for people that get there, if you know, you came from Portugal, they call you Lisboeta.
Yeah. So what does that mean?
It don't matter which part of Portugal. There's the capital called Lisbon.
Oh yeah.
But they just call everybody Lisboeta. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It don't matter if you're from the north or you're from the south. They just call them Lisboeta. Yeah.
So
and then there's another specific word they say for people, like, you know, when you act like, you know, act like you're a little bit better than others, but, you know, you're dressing up and all that. They call it panty mineiro.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
They, like, you know, you like to show off too much. You like to show off. Yeah. I don't know if, you know, if it's same thing with
similar. Pretty much. So like, obviously, Bugger actually comes from like so there was obviously a point in time where a lot of Ghanaians were migrating to Hamburg, basically, innit?
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean, Africans, innit? So when people coming back, so obviously it was like hamburger, bugger, and then they just showed it to Bugger, you know what I mean? That's been like that for like forever
for
now,
years.
You know what I mean? And like, I think what I found funny about it, so I went Ghana in December. So I think I had not been for like 10 years. So I was like, you know, I need to go see like my grandma, see my roots again. You know,
connect with the roots again.
A lot back in, touch the soil. You know what I mean? And literally, obviously, all I was wearing was like a black tracksuit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, trying to blend in.
Not even blend. I was wearing like an orange do-rag as well. You know what I mean? And
you was really bugging then at that time.
Exactly, bro. I landed, got to the you know, the border control. Literally, first thing, ladies like, hey, bugger. I literally laughed to myself, you know what I mean? And then like when I was speaking the language, she was like shocked at it, you know what I mean? So I think that's kind of, it's part of the whole concept of the EP, and it's just the idea of like fitting in. But
so is this Tribe then, you know, you connect with the EP that, you know, that you were releasing?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So Tribe was kind of the lead single with that. And what Tribe is about basically is like, obviously the idea of Tribe is like one people, one community, like from one place, innit? I think the spin I put on it is the idea of like, so I've built my own tribe. So I've come to Manchester, come to all these places, met my people, met my tribe, and we have our own goals and we built our own community. You know what I mean?
That's sick. I like the song too. I like the song too. Like, obviously, like, for me to, you know, come on, you know, having a conversation with you, I need to check out your stuff. And then Tribe is actually a crazy song. But there is, you know, some rap music you put on YouTube that was, you know, listening to. I was like, such a big difference for you to come from that, doing that, and then to start making, like, you know, switch to...
What did you listen to on YouTube? That made me nervous.
There's a couple of songs. You know, there's some old, because I know there's songs you have there that's 8 years ago.
Yeah.
So I went over those to listen. You know, I need to understand, for me to, like, you know, see, okay, what kind of music you like, you're actually making, for you to, whatever song you put in now. Because I seen the type of music you put in now. I also go and listen to those that you know, put in 8 years ago. Obviously, I don't remember the title of the songs, but you know, there's one, like, you know, outside, it looks like in a car park. The video looks like it's in somewhere in a car park. Like, you know, I seen the one that you put in, you know, you filmed in the studio as well. That's more on my piano based one. That one, that one is sick too. But this Tribe is definitely, you know, some good. We definitely, you know, waiting for this. Do you have like a release date for this EP that's coming out already?
So I remember the EP is out on Bandcamp. So what I wanted to release.
Is it already out?
Yeah. So like it's out on Bandcamp. So on Bandcamp you can like go and then just buy the EP for yourself, and you can have like all the files or the folders.
Come on, tell them that there's
exactly, it's out on Bandcamp, so go and copy it. So the reason I put it on Bandcamp, so usually I release my music just on DSP, so like Spotify, Apple Music, but I wanted this one to be like people can access it like straight away and for themselves and kind of do with it what you will, and you know what I mean. So if you wanna mix it into your playlist, obviously if DJs wanna
go and get it from there,
music for mixes and do what we want. So I kind of wanted it not just to be my project, for people to like
people to go and use it and have some level of freedom for them to use the music.
That's what I wanted. So put it on Bandcamp, but on DSP it's releasing on the 29th, so end of this month.
I want to talk about a little bit more your creative process in the music. When you're creating music, how do you go about your music? Do you like, you want to tell story, or, you just want people to feel some certain emotion on your music? What's your creative process? When you're thinking about, putting a track out, when you're working on a track, what kind of delivery do you want? When you deliver the song, what do you want people to feel like, this person telling me a story, or you making me feel some type of way?
I think it kind of depends on the song. I think I do, no matter kind of what type of music I put out, I've always got a story for real. It's always coming from somewhere, you know what I mean? I don't think I'm able to write music just off like a vibe, you know what I mean? It has to be from somewhere real, you know what I mean? I think when I get to studio and I'm like trying to record it, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I feel like I can tell that there's no like connect, you know what I mean? So I think like when I'm writing, there's a lot of emotion, there's a lot of understanding. If it's coming from pain, then it's pain, and I want you to kind of hear that pain, understand pain, relate to that pain, you know what I mean? So I think in regards to the EP, I think it has a bit of everything, you know what I mean? I'm telling a story, I'm kind of telling the story of my journey as like, obviously as a Ghanaian, as an African, as a black person, kind of traveling, moving around, trying to find where you belong, you know what I mean? But then it's also like the journey of just like a human being, you know what I mean? And living life, you know what I mean?
Understand. Is any track that you put out that's, or that's coming that you feel like, he has more meaning to you, or he has more emotional attachment to you? Any track you put out that's already been out, or the new one that you just put out that's, got more attention than any other track?
I think
it could be one or two, like, there's always something you connect with more.
So I say probably like one of the first tracks that I dropped that was kind of like not as rappy, more melody, was Mañana. So when I dropped that, but that's one of the songs that kind of put me on the scope in Manchester, you know what I mean? It made a lot of people like turn heads and be like, oh, this guy actually is an artist. I'm not just a rapper, I'm actually an artist, and I'm trying to create something, because that's one of my first songs that ended up on BBC, ended up on, I think it was like Kiss. There was a lot of places that it ended up on, I mean, of that track. So that's kind of...
So you think that's a track that,
I think so, it did.
Had more attachment to it.
Exactly. It did a lot for me, I think, in the scene. But then in the EP, I think Drive and Store is one of the ones where it's very like more emotional, more emotion invoking. And
you got some dancing ones in there.
Of course, man, you got, you know what I mean? Obviously, that's what I mean. The EPs, I think, is a lot of sides of myself, you know what I mean? So obviously, like Tribe is more, obviously it has the meaning behind it and kind of trying to build a community. But it's also kind of the understanding, like, as a black artist, when obviously you've heard it, like, it's more of a drill type of sound. You know what I mean? So it's the idea that, bro, like, there's a lot of times where they're using, like, let's say right now someone walks in now, they'll probably use the word, oh, there was a gang of them, there was a crew of them, you know what I mean? Those are the kind of the words that they're using to describe us, you know what I mean? The idea of tribe was like, no, we're not a gang, we're a tribe, we're a community, you know, just because we're together doesn't mean we're up to anything that we shouldn't be up to, you know what I mean? So that's kind of what tribe is about.
So collectively, but I'll be able to identify, the people around you,
exactly,
and what
I mean? Yeah, so then it's kind of stuff like that where obviously it's got that vibe to it. You want to dance to it, you want to catch a vibe to it, but it's also got a message and understanding. And obviously we've got Drive and Store, which is more emotional about like the journey of any human being, like days where you want to give up. What do you use to motivate yourself? Like, you know what I mean? What are the things that help you keep going? You know what I mean?
You say, all the details we getting from this EP already.
Definitely,
you guys, you go and check out this EP that just put out. He's already told you guys the platforms. Go and check in that platform that he has. What's the platform name again?
It's called Bandcamp.
Bandcamp.
Yeah.
Go and check in Bandcamp. You should have this EP on there. Go and check it out and buy the EP as well. Then you have, some level of freedom in that EP as well. So, but now I want to talk about, the visuals, and there's some aesthetics on your work, and how involved are you? Because obviously I didn't know you used to do videos, and you wanted to be a filmmaker and everything. So how involved are you in in terms of visual and aesthetics for your art and everything else?
Very much so. I think for this project, the thing I wanted to do was like, I kind of wanted to just be the artist, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't want to be like the artist and the director and the, you know what I mean, the creative director and the style coordinator, you know what I mean? And I think that was the idea of, I wanted to kind of bring my community together and kind of like, everyone has kind of a piece of this project, you know what I mean? So I think there's a lot of people that I've worked with kind of to bring it together. I think initially what I did was, I think, like like January, when obviously I came with the EP idea, like to my team, and I called a team meeting, got everyone, like all the people that I wanted involved in, did like a little presentation of like, broke down every song, what the vision is, what the meaning is, and then kind of what everyone's role was. I went to them, okay, that's all you now, you know what I mean?
And so would you say, because you're making Afrofusion at the moment, would you say Afrofusion is the future of African music? Of
course, yeah, definitely. Like, I think, like, for anything to grow, you have to put it with something, you know what I mean? Like, nothing grows just standing alone, you know what I mean? I think that's what, I think Africans, we understand that, but I think it's more the acceptance of it, you know what I mean? But if you think about like all the biggest artists, what they're doing now, you know what I mean? They're kind of like spreading out and going to different parts of the world and working with different type of people, you know what I mean? And even amongst ourselves in Africa, you know what I mean? That's kind of what kind of you see it happening, you know what I mean? Like I said, like when Amapiano came, like there was, you know what I mean? There's a lot of Nigerian artists were going to South Africa and working with those artists and building something and like building on it. And there's a lot of sounds that we hear now that are like very heavily influenced, you know what I mean? That aren't just like standalone Afrobeats, but it's a fusion and it's sounds coming together and cultures coming together, you know what I mean?
No, it does make full sense, man. You know, for you, what's more important in music? Is more vibe or lyrics?
I think that's what I mean. That's where my rap side always comes in ahead of it, you know what I mean? Like, I think for me, it's more definitely lyrics, you know what I mean? Like, what are you saying, you know what I mean? I feel like these days as well, like, it's timeless, innit? Like, you put something on the internet, it's there forever, innit? So, you better be saying the right thing, you know what I mean? You better be giving them the right message.
If the stand level that commercial, you need to be, obviously, like, if you still want to earn money from it, you need to be having a certain level of vibe in your song as well. You might have, like, you know, some good punchlines on the music, you know, good punchline, good lyrics and everything else, but it's not something you can dance to. It's not something you can listen and vibe with the song. Do you know what I mean? So there's some level of, cause it should be supposed to be something very tricky when it comes to that to decide, because some people, they don't care about, you know, what they say in the music, as long as it's popping, people dance to it and they make their good money and then go and sit down. You know,
of course, that's like that's a given, innit? Like obviously that's kind of what everyone kind of prays for it. But I think with me, it's the idea is like, why does it, for me, it's never one or the other. Why can't I have both? Why can't I can say something sick that'll make people think, but also say in a way that'll make people catch a vibe and like.
But that's where it comes to your own talent and how you be able to, like, you know, get the music to get how people will feel your music as well. Is your delivery, how you gonna put that music out there? That's up to you guys as artists. I'm not artists. I'm not good at music. I never tried. I don't think I would be good at it. In terms of stage presence, I think I would have a stage presence, but in music is not for me. I never tried. I don't think I'd be able to.
People say that though, but like as a consumer of music, that's kind of how you learn. You know what I mean? Like I've learned from listening to other artists, being around artists, and kind of like you pick things up. And when you learn something, how do you apply it to yourself? You know what I mean? So it's not taking it and copying, but like understanding what someone's doing and trying to get it to yourself. You know what I mean? And that's all it is. So you just learn and you grow. You know what I mean?
But you live in the UK. You consume. Do you consume, probably consuming UK music as well? Rap, you know, every style that people, so many different styles that music people make in the UK. What do you say is the difference between music that people make in the UK and, you know, African music?
Tough one. So I think if you're talking like straight, obviously UK music,
it could be grime, rap. You know, there's different styles.
I think
because now, if you see, there's so many different genres in the UK that you'll be able to merge with the Afrobeat. We see, like, you know, Ashake making music with the like Central C. And that song was banged. Do you know what I mean? And it's the different styles, but they managed to put it together.
But I think I think with Afrobeats, it's one of those where it's, you know what I mean? It's kind of like Afrobeats, but it's kind of what we say, it's our own, innit? You know what I mean? It's something that we've boasted and we've gone from, you know, it's like, what they don't understand is, like you said, everyone thinks Afrobeats is new and it's like a new sound and it's popping but I think like Afrobeats has been around so long, you know what I mean? Like I said, where it's come from, like hip life, high life, it's come to Afrobeats, but before that, obviously we had like Fela Kuti, all these people that are working and developing the sound, you know what I mean? Where it's got to now where we have like like people like Burna Boy, you know what I mean, who is now kind of like elevating the sound to his own place. People like Ashake, who is elevating the sound to his own place, you know what I mean? And for that to happen, there has to be history, you know what I mean? So I think the UK sound has history, but I think with that, is there a culture, you know what I'm saying?
It's a culture. Like if you like, what would add to that as well is UK music. There's a lot of it that's come from Africa background too.
Yeah, for real. Yeah.
Us, like, you know, people that live in like Africans that, you know, they could be probably born here. You know, you're the first or second generation of your family that came from Africa. But in your household, your parents are listening to African music and you're picking up that little sense of, you know, that style. And when you come to make a rap or grime, you're gonna use some, you know, like, you know, for example, I would say J.Us, his music. If you listen to his music, you can tell there's some sound that's some African on it. He's a rap music, but it's like there's a lot of, like, you know, African slang that you can hear from his music as well.
No, I think that's where it kind of comes under the umbrella of, like, they'll call it like Afro rap, or, you know what I mean, it's got the Afro vibe to it. But then obviously it was never like Afro beat, so that's why in the UK they have Afro swing, you know what I mean? So it's just like taking those nuances, obviously understanding kind of where it's come from and how it's developed to this point, you know what I mean?
Is any Afro artists that influence you, have a big influence on your music? It could be in the past or in the present. Any African artists you say like you look up to?
I say no, like obviously like the bigs, like for me, because I've always come from the rap balls, like Sarkodie. And like he's one of like the biggest, obviously, Ghanaian rappers, like probably one of the biggest African rappers, like not even rapper, like artist, sorry, like to come out of Ghana, to come out of Africa. You know what I mean? He's worked with like Jay-Z, he's worked with Kanye West, and this was like back in the day, you know what I mean? So he's definitely like there for me, like growing up, you know what I'm saying? But then obviously more like the newer sound, like if you listen to like my music now and the EP coming out, I always say people like you know what I mean, like Shatta Wale, Stone Boy, like Black Sharif, who's
apart of those two, they don't go with each other. I heard story. I didn't know. I heard stories like those two, they go beefs that have been going on for a while.
I think it's more. I think it's more is the obviously the Ghanaian pride.
It's a pride,
wanting to be the
we
best,
Africans,
you know?
more African. We have pride,
but for real.
We have pride
real,
for
man.
sure.
Yeah, man.
But there's a pride. There also goals. Like you know, if you have pride and there's those goals. People have certain goals. When everybody trying to step on their way, then there's the issue. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So if their problems could be from that, you know, everybody wants to be the biggest in that, and then another trying to step on their way, and then there's gonna beef in there. Gonna be a beef in there. But in terms for you, what would you say is your ultimate goal? Where would you want to reach? As you know, where's Kingxton wants to reach? As an ultimate goal.
Oh, that's a tough one. You know, I think for me is more. Especially with this EP, I think is what I just want to reach is more like just freedom of expression. You know what I mean, and wanting to be able to drop the music I want to drop. Like you know what I mean. I think. Right now, we're obviously at the point in careers when you're starting out, there's always like a lot that is like boxed in that you can't do in it, obviously. So like just due to funding or due to like just having the resources, you know what I'm saying? So I think it's more being able to have that creative freedom, you know what I mean?
You want that freedom,
exactly. Yeah.
So like, would you want to be signed or you want to be independent?
So I couldn't answer that, you know what I mean? You don't know what your path is, you know what I mean? I think, obviously, like, if I was going to be signed, it would have to be, like, a deal that works for me and what I want to do, you know what I mean? So, for example, like, for, like, the EP, like, one of the tracks on the EP, I went to Ghana, literally, contacted a lot of different artists who are from Ghana, you know, because obviously I think it was only right to have Ghanaian artists on the EP as well, you know what I mean? So obviously, like, but for example, that came out of my own pocket, you know what I mean? Where got my own flight, went there, paid for studio, got these artists, paid those artists, you know what I mean? And kind of built that. So I think it's more just that creative freedom to not have to go to work, wake up and go to work, but be like, you know what? Today I want to fly to, I don't know,
there's a freedom in being independent, but also good to be signed.
And
like, of course, because we never know. Sometimes you can be such a good artist, and there's not that little push that you need for you to be able to reach the level you want. You could, or you wanted to reach yourself. So being signed is not wrong. It's not a bad thing. It's just depending on the contract that you sign. Exactly, if you be able to, like, get somebody honest that's signing you, you'll be great for every single artist.
Like,
I would say.
One thing, like, obviously for the time I've been doing this, like, and obviously I've known a lot of artists who have been signed or who've been in some deal or whatever. And exactly, it's about, like you said, it's about understanding that this person isn't signing you or because they like you, or because obviously they're gonna like you, but
it's because they see potential.
Exactly, they see potential, and they're trying to gain something from that potential. You know what I mean? So if you're gonna sign, it's about finding, like, cool, they're gonna get something from you, but what are you gaining from this? You know what I mean? And why are you using this? How are you using this to elevate yourself? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, and so if you're coming to the end of the deal, what have you got? What have you got from it at the end?
Like there's always mutual interest on that, because record label, they don't just come to the artist that is okay. They could see the potential on you, but they would never invest in you until they see you start blowing up. If you're not blowing up, then they won't put in your money. Even they know you have a lot of potential. They need to see, oh, this person is blowing up. Then I want get something from that artist. Let's sign him and then get money.
That's where times have changed. You know what I mean? Because I think back in the day it was like labels used to find an artist and then they'll develop the artist, bring the artist. You know what I mean? But now they want the finished product. You know what I mean?
Of course, that's not gonna happen.
That's what makes it difficult, because imagine how, like, for example, I've been working for years now. I develop my sound. I get to the point where I do blow. I have that moment. You know what I mean? Then a label's coming to me going, "Oh yeah, let us help you." I don't want your help because I've done all the work now. You know what I mean? And you've learned. So I think that's what it's about. It's about timing in it. And if someone is coming with a deal, how does that deal help you elevate?
It's all about you understanding your value and then be able to accept whatever that they bring to you. If you feel like, oh, this makes sense for me, and then you do it. If it doesn't make sense for you, then let it go. But in terms of you've been you dropped this album now, this EP, and is any big project that you're working on, and in the next 5 years, where would you see yourself in the next 5 years? If you put in the work now, and you have all the resources to be able to get the music out there, where would you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Well, that's a tough question. I think in the next 5 years, I'd probably want to be like just touring the world. To be honest, I wanna kind of take my music, take my story like everywhere, and kind of find people that kind of relate. And kind of obviously understand kind of where I'm coming from, and trying to meet those people and connect with those people. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's another thing. Like I feel like there's a lot of artists out there who are wanting to like be able to tell the story and link in and collaborate and kind of spread the word. Kind of we'll say spread the word. You know what I mean? Because like I was saying, like my story, like since I've started this rollout and kind of being able to talk my story and what kind of the history of Kingxton is, there's been a lot of people that relate to it, you know what I mean? Like a lot, not even just black people, like a lot of people from all over the world who've migrated to somewhere else and trying to find where they belong and where they fit in, you know what I mean? So there's a lot of people that kind of feel the same way. So
well, the most important thing is for you not to be just focusing in one specific demographic. When you're making music, you want everybody to be able to to listen to your music. You don't want to restrict yourself and then just make music for just certain type of people. If those people, they don't support you, then you're done. Do you know what I mean? That's why it's good for you to be able to make music and be able to have everybody engage in the type of music you're making, for you to be able to get to yourself to the level that you want to get. Because for example, I speak Portuguese. I'm not making content in Portuguese because I don't feel like there's enough support in that community for me to be able to go forward for that. For English, it's different because I know there's so many other people. In the world, there's so many people that speak English. I might not get support in England, but there's someone else who could listen to my my content and be able to relate to it. I'm not gonna restrict myself, and if I'm not feeling that, we're not getting that support. But in general, how would you want to be remembered as an artist? Kingxton, how would you want to be remembered?
But I think that's a tough question.
It's an important question. It's something like you need to come from within. Do you know what I mean? Apart from you being just an artist, you could be just an artist. You could be as a person too. How would you want to be remembered?
I think
but as we here for your art, as a Kingxton, because that's not your real name, correct?
No.
Yeah, so I'm not asking your real name. I don't know. You can tell me behind the camera.
Sometimes I've been asked that,
tell me that behind the camera. But how would you want to be remembered? It's Kingxton, how you want to be remembered?
I think that's the thing. I'd want to be remembered as you know what I mean, as obviously as a Ghanaian, but obviously as a true person, undeniable. You know what I mean? I want to be remembered as someone who's done great things, but also highlighted a lot of things. You know what I mean? I want to put the spotlight on Ghanaians. I want to put the spotlight on Africans, black people in the UK. You know what I mean? It's just about wanting to kind of highlight all the parts of me, and just not through myself, through like the people around me, the people that relate to the story, you know what I mean? And like, yeah.
Come on, man, 100%. Man. Yeah, no, it's humble. It's very humble way of what you want to be remembered of. Obviously, like it's good. But for those kids that we get to the end of it now, I just want you to give a message for those kids that want to pursue their goals. I always want to give that good message for others, those that listen. It could be kids, teenage, or wherever that wants to pursue their dream, and then there's something that's holding them back. They're procrastinating so much. Leave a message for them to be able to carry on with their goal, keep going, and whatever message you want to give them.
Well, like, so the top of your ways, it's about understanding what your dream is. Like, you have to be able to understand, is this really what you want to do? You know what I mean? Like, in the time I've been doing music, there's a lot of artists that have started and then stopped. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the people that are still doing it now, the people who stay consistent and like believed in themselves and believed in the dream and put in the work. You know what I mean? One thing I keep saying to everyone is 10,000 hours. Put in your 10,000 hours. You know what I mean? Put in your 10,000 hours of writing your music. Go into the studio. You know what I mean? Studying music, learning music, like kind of seeing the artists you like, who not copy who you're trying to sound like, but understand who you're trying to sound like.
Yeah.
And kind of take what they're doing and how you can make it unique and make it like to yourself. You know what I mean? I think copying anyone just never works. You know what I mean? You have to be yourself.
Be yourself. Yeah,
man.
100%. But I want you to leave a message for your EP. Obviously, we spoke, briefly about your EP. That's the main thing. I want people to know. You just drop, you put a new EP out. I want you to leave a message for this, for this EP. This tour or anything that you want to announce to those that are listening to this show, and then to go and check it out and go watch whatever that's that's coming for you.
Yeah. So Bugger from the City. Like, I think it's an EP that it's about highlighting Ghanaians, you know what I mean? But it's not just for Ghanaians. It's about kind of understanding the story of an artist, so all artists can relate to that. Understanding the story of like a black man who's traveled, who's kind of like part of the diaspora and kind of been everywhere. So being able to relate to that and just taking it in and taking from that story what you can. You know what I mean? The idea is just the ideal principle of like, it's not every day you have to kind of fit in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you don't fit in, make your own space. You know what I mean? Build your own tribe, build your own community. And that's what literally Bugger from the City is about, you know what I mean? And just don't feel lost just because you're away from home, you know what I mean? Like, that's all it is. You have your roots. No matter where you are, your roots and your culture is always there, you know what I mean? So Bugger from the City out on the 29th, coming out soon. And we've got tour dates coming up. So we're doing London on the 19th of June. We're doing Liverpool on the 9th of July, and then Manchester on the 17th of July. So yeah, man.
Come on, man. Guys, tapped in.
Bro. Yeah, man.
Things are coming up, and make sure you go get the tickets for the shows that's coming up for the guy, okay?
For real. I'll see you guys there.
But I appreciate having you, man.
Appreciate you, bro.
Great, man.
Man.
Great